And it'd be great if you could pick and choose when we should have term limits, when we should not.
Yeah, that's a good
Because
point.
you get
Yeah.
to
Well,
so-
Steny Hoyer would be a classic argument against term
I could-
Absolutely.
limits. I mean, how do you get any better than Steny as a
You
public
don't.
servant? But thank you, Steny, for my first job.
And we talked to Steny about that very thing. And to me, I don't like the 2-year terms for people like the Congress. And yeah, they should have 4, in my opinion. How in the world can you do what they do
Right.
and are supposed to do and
Yeah.
working? And he's good at it.
Continually running and raising money.
Yeah,
Right.
continually on the move.
Right.
It's a tough thing, and I personally would think there should be an effort in that area. But locally, I think the timing was necessary for the term limits. And like I say, when you can pick and choose, I'd like to have seen one individual in for a little longer. And maybe not after that 4th year, I would have continued that, but I would.
There are no term limits on our city council and mayor.
Not at all. And I think that's good too. And we were speaking about that. It's the money, it's getting out and knocking the doors, and it's all of that investment a person has in time and money. There's a great deal of temptation when you're talking about the problems with developers and attending too many fundraisers or whatever guys they'll go under. It's a great deal of influence they would have. And that's not going to change that much, even if it's done just legitimately.
I have to tell you, I went to a wedding of a county council individual who shall remain nameless, and I saw every major developer on the face of the earth was there at that particular wedding. I thought, whoa!
Well, it's easy to pick who that is. It only counts someone that got married while in office. It's easy to pick, John.
Yeah, but
So
it goes
we
back a
won't-
long
what-
way.
what-
We won't mention their name.
Yeah, I'll leave that one alone. Too.
Yeah.
But they got on to me for supporting their opponent one time.
Oh,
And
dear.
I was in the Safeway store. That new wife said, "How could you do that, Bert?" So I didn't want you to give you a hint who it was. But anyway, they're local. Anyway, the other thing I think we got, John covered everything I think except the time you actually literally work for the county executive.
Yeah.
Your duties and what you did to make that, you'd be kidding about being a flag.
Yeah.
But John, that's when we first met you.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell us what you did.
Well, I had the benefit or the tough, strange job of being both the press secretary and the appointment secretary. So I got to recommend one person out of 10 for an appointment, and then I had one person that was an ingrate and 9 people that hated me. But I made these recommendations to the county executive, and he would bring them to the elected leadership in the county, and they would make boards and commissions and the baubles that we had to give out. So that was the more stressful part of the job, is that the appointment secretary job. The press angle was just exhilarating because you deal with relatively articulate people in Fourth Estate, and you're always engaged in this parry and thrust, and you don't have friends, you have opponents, and that's okay. It's good to have a reporter staring down your neck every day. And if anything is bad about today, it's because it's that whole function's been diffused over so many forms of information, internet. You don't have that white light on you as much. You don't go out and just grab the Washington Post or the Bowie News, on Thursday or now it's on Wednesday. You don't have that flipping butterflies in your stomach when you start to read through. Oh, geez, what are they going to do this today? And that's a bad thing. For guys like me that were inside the government, I could always say, hey, you might want to do this, boss, but this is the way it's going to look with the Fourth Estate. And you got 4 things that a democracy rests on. The people, the elected officials, the special interests, your developers, your school boards, but then the Fourth Estate. And the Fourth Estate's looking at everybody. And if they're not doing their job, or if you don't think they're doing their job, it's a big temptation. And that was one of the best things I had as a press secretary, is guys breathing down my neck all the time.
Yeah, but you were totally candid. That doesn't exist anymore. I don't believe a word any of these people say, these press spokesmen at the county level. We call you up, you give us an honest answer.
Right. Now, well, what do they say sometimes that honesty sometimes is also a tactic, and when both sides start to use it, things get incredibly complicated. But I always said, don't say or do anything you can't tell the Washington Post or your mom. because if those two tests, if you can't get that, if it doesn't sound good to yourself or to your mom, then it's not going to look good in the paper. So try to avoid it. But
That's a good point.
the things that gave press secretaries, I don't think they have that kind of clout here anymore. I hope it comes back. I hope these things like this forum, things like the internet, and I hope these forums reemerge to put the focus on the press secretary's role of kind of being that slave in the chariot with the general saying, "Look, you're just mortal. You got to keep reminding the general, the politician, that people are looking and you got to be accountable." That was the best part of my job, was being able to daily try to stay a half a step ahead of the press corps. And,
You did.
yeah, well, sometimes it got awful close, but it was an exhilarating part, and going through understanding the local politics, that all things generally always is local.
Oh, absolutely.
It starts at
Tip O'Neill's great adage, absolutely on the mark.
If you're not home, if you don't take care of the home, the home base, it's just not going to happen for you. And Steny Hoyer's just a absolute marvel of that. He is everywhere.
Oh yeah, he's great,
and he works hard at it. And
his constituency services are unreal.
yeah, I've actually referred clients to him when I thought, not him, but to his staff, when I thought the case was next to impossible for me to do anything as a lawyer.
Yeah.
And they get it worked out.
Yeah.
Some federal agency or something. And I said, "Geez," and he had to do it for free. But
Well, that's the difference. You mentioned that, and we're narrowing down. But the important thing is, John, you just illustrated what politics used to be,
Yeah.
and how it was managed, and how it was handled, and how it was honestly done. And now with newspapers reducing not only in size but power,
They're dying.
they're literally dying. And that was, to me, there's still a lot of people that go to the newspaper for the source of news. I don't think that's going to go away. It might be down to fewer pages, but
Or on the internet.
or on the internet. And that means people that don't have a computer now, and we probably in this area, there's the highest percentage of computers in the world is around the Washington area.
You never bought one, did you?
oh, sure. but what it's also,
I didn't want to.
There's also a huge empowerment with the
Yeah.
internet. Anybody now can be a John Rouse, or
Yeah.
can be a Bert Oliver. You can broadcast, and that's incredibly empowering if people just think to get up and do it.
Except that there are 50 million blogs.
Yes, yes. You got to get something. You say, "Look at me." Look at what I'm saying. But that access to be able to communicate. One of my greatest thrills, I have to tell you, was when I was trying to run for office, was figuring out if I wrote a letter to the editor of the Bowie Blade, by God, they'd print it. About something. It had to be about something.
Yes.
But I'd sit there and I'm try to run for the county council, say something profound about something. But sure enough, you get to the paper, and if it was a slow week, you'd get in there. So
Yeah.
it was the first thing to say, "Hey, I could get into the newspapers. This is cool."
That's
So,
amazing.
Yeah.
But I've urged my own kids to try to write a letter to the editor if something ticks them off.
Yeah.
Say, write a letter. You say,
Absolutely.
Well,
why do they care what I
unfortunately,
write?
this has been great. We've reached the point of wrap. I'll let Bert wrap up, and I really appreciate you coming in.
Thank
This
you.
was
Thanks for
very
having me.
enjoyable.
Well, John, I appreciate it very much too. And the one benefit of John coming on board here in our wrap, I've got to tell you, he's got such a vast amount of experience. We could probably do these programs just he and I, because I'd be listening, but he'd be talking. And as you said, sometimes, or as he said, Bert talks too much.
I never said that.
But John, we appreciate
Probably
it.
couldn't get a word in
Appreciate
edgewise.
knowing you all these years, and
Good.
wish you and your family well. And
Thank you.
we'll have you back, I hope.
And
Great.
we'll say to our viewers, good night, and tune in next week when we have one of the world's great financial planners on.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's